Hi guys, it's me, Kat, Mrs. Handy Are You? Hope you're all doing really well. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas around here. No snow yet though. And real Christmas, as far as I know, is coming up sooner, December 7th, right? So anyway, I'm way behind on my notes, I'm sorry. But I have a Trump rally from Hialeah, Florida. And it was a good one, so I hope you like it. And Don Jr. came on in the beginning, and actually Roseanne did first, and then Kimberly, and then Don Jr. And I think you can see it on RSBN on Rumble. Hopefully you can still see the beginning of it, and they haven't, edited it out. Anyway, give it a shot. I think you'd enjoy it, especially Roseanne. She was really rowdy. And Roseanne showed one of Jennifer Mack's, Diana Jackie, right? Jennifer Mack's jacket, the one that has the Magador on it. It's that gold or yellow jacket, and it's got President Trump going after a bull. And remember, I talked about another video. The papal bull is what changed our calendar, right? It was a papal bull by Pope Gregory, I think it might have been the 13th. That part I can't remember, but it was in the 1500s. So that's why it's the bull, on the jacket, as far as I can tell. So there's a lot to do with the, we're on the Gregorian calendar, but we should be on the Julian calendar, at least for the time being. So if you look at the conversion, you can look at conversion tables and look at different dates and things and see what you think. If you come up with anything, leave it in the comments, okay? That'd be awesome. Okay, so let's see. I mentioned Roseanne, then Kimberly came out, and she was in those super spiky high heels. And when I saw her again, I thought, Kimberly's tall anyway, although I didn't see her standing next to Don Jr., for the height comparison. But I know she's tall, at least when she was on the 5 on Fox. The spiky high heels. So, whenever I think of spiky high heels, I think of Jackie acting as Melania, the spiky high heels. And when she's in flats, which I don't really see her as often in flats, from the past, she's Diana, Princess Diana. Hi, Diana. Yeah, that sounded weird. Sorry. So anyway, so that got me thinking about the high heels and who is Kimberly being, portrayed by somebody else. What if Don Jr. and his wife never split up, right? Everybody was upset when that happened. What if he never split up? What if Kimberly has been an actress, all this time? I mean, Melania has been. Melania hasn't been there's nobody named Melania that's married to President Trump. It's all Diana and Jackie. So anyway, okay. So and she's already, as far as they did a decode. On Carrie Lake. And Carrie Lake, she's running for the Senate in Arizona. And I think but usually is what I'm trying to say. She's Jackie Kennedy. I suppose, I think she's been Diana before, but usually she's Jackie Kennedy. And she's running for the Senate. What I think is going to happen is President Trump will ask her to run as vice president with him. That's what I think is going to happen. So, won't that be awesome? Anyway, let's see. So, and Kimberly ends with, "Come on here, Donnie, let's get him." And talking to get Don Jr. to come to the stage. And he said, and she kissed him, just a little kiss on the cheek. Now, when you look back on how President Trump and Melania interact, it's like barely a kiss on the cheek. If he kisses her, or vice versa, it's like almost barely touching. Okay, and that's what happened with when Kimberly kissed Don Jr. It was just this little tiny kiss. And not that he'd expect a big fat kiss, but you know, it was just something I noticed. So he said that little smack I got, you know, like a reference to the cross, maybe, I don't know. Like, is Don Jr. even Don Jr.? Like, I kind of wonder about that. We'll get there. Yeah. He mentioned the Summer of Love riots, very, you know, very sarcastically, you know, when the everybody's rioting in the streets and all the cities and all that stuff, which I still think was like a setup. I don't think that was even real. So he mentioned the Gucci shoes that those people stole. And to me, that's shoe comms. And I was already thinking about that before he said it because of her spiky high heels, you know, Kimberly's. He mentioned mortgages and universities. And let's see, sorry, I should have gotten a glass of water and I didn't. Let's see, so Gucci shoes in Jewish gematria is 465, and it's essential info, US dollar, but then it's also Emmy. So it could be that, you know, somebody else was playing Don Jr. Maybe somebody's been doing it right along. Like, what if that has been JFK Jr., right? JFK Jr. Let's see. So Gucci shoes in a simple gematria is 109, which is one of Tom's numbers, right? 17, it equals 17. Nasera Jacera, it's coming. XRP price. Timberlark, Diana Spencer. So, and Q phrase, hello George. So that's all 109 from Gucci shoes. And that's my cat, sorry. Misty. Let's see. And he what did he say? He said, put in the gulags. Basically, I think, if I remember right, he was saying if we had done something like that, we'd be put in the gulags. It's simple gematria, it's 180, and it equals gematria calculator. Learn the secret code. Donald Trump is DEA, you know, and then near-death experience, because I don't think he's really going to die. I don't think it's going to really, you know, I think that's all pretend. You know, just like President Kennedy on 11/22, which just passed, 63, he didn't really die. He set that all up so he could exit and work behind the scenes. Let's see, he mentioned, this is still Don Jr., a vicious cycle that goes on forever, like reincarnation. Don Jr. also said deities 2 times in a row. So that's another reason I thought, is it JFK Jr., because I always think of him as a deity, you know, one of the gods. He said, finally had a moment 2 times, and that equals resuscitation in simple, 173. Third World War, oh, the phone. I can't believe this, sorry. I forgot to get the phones out of here. It's gonna ring 4 or 5 times, we'll ignore it. I knew I was too tired to do this. Resuscitation, Third World War, Timberlark is here. They want to put him in jail for 1,000 years. Maybe I should get the phone. I think the answering machine's gonna go on. No. Oh, I have to answer it. Gosh. Yeah, Misty has an appointment. Goodbye. Oh, sometimes you guys, be quiet. Do you think if I sit on the phone, be quiet? Oh, obey. This is my life. This is my life. I got a drink of water, though, out of it. Misty has an appointment tomorrow morning, in case you didn't know, with the vet. He mentioned old hag, Hillary Clinton. He said they give him, meaning the Biden, as they call him, something that wears off after 90 seconds. Then he turns into a Roomba, like, you know, one of those Roombas that bounces off all the walls. And so he starts walking around like that and bumping into things. And this is a good part. He says he wasn't present, and you know he's not. He's not there because the Biden is played by likely, you know, Junior and other people. And then he said, my friend Jorge, 2 times, which is George. And he said, so many in this theater knows what this means. So like all of us people, we know what George means. And George equals Mary, you know, Mother Mary, Diana, Jackie. That was really cool that he said that. They're going to burn all that money. And he's you know, at the time he's double talking. You know, he's double talking about the GCR and the reset. And he said, despite incoming attacks from the media, that's war comms, and then fighting like you've never fought before, like trying to get him President Trump elected, but that's another war comms, like you've never fought before, because in the upcoming war, or whatever they're going to call it, conflict, it will be fighting like no one's ever fought before, because it won't be real. Here goes the Trump train. What else is going to happen? There's a point of no return, another fake war comm. Let's see. And he said Paul Krugman was on TV, and he always talks about the economy and everything on Fox, or maybe it's CNN, I don't remember. He said inflation is going great, and then he said, and then Don says asterisks, if you don't include housing, food, or transportation, which is all manipulated. You guys all know that by now. And then he said everything you need to survive, like you're going to survive no matter what happens out there, that the news says, whatever happens, don't worry, you're gonna survive. And he said, only you, 2 times, but I see you. So they can see us all the time. So be good. You better be good, for goodness sake. They can always see us. They know us. They know what we're thinking. They really do. Because they're gods and goddesses and God and all, however you want to look at this, that they know what's going on. And then he says, we believe in God. So another emphasis on God. And then they played Elvis, because he had said goodbye at that point. Then they played Elvis, and what was it? I'm not sure of the name of this song, but the lyric goes, there must be lives burning brighter, and it was a video of Elvis. It wasn't just a song. And then Sarah Huckabee Sanders came out. Now she's governor of Arkansas, and I'm proud to endorse my former boss and friend, Donald J. Trump. And I wonder if she's been replaced even. Don't you wonder about everybody at this point? And she said, I am proud to be the first governor to kick China off our farmland. And she was press secretary. I'm sure you remember. She was the first press secretary for President Trump. And she said, she was describing something they did. The most unforgettable trip we ever took was December 25th, going to Iraq. And listen to the dark comms, okay? Like the no light and maybe eclipse and all that stuff. You know how I'm always saying there's going to be a big eclipse that'll last a long time? Uh, it was December 25th, going to Iraq. No lights on the plane. No lights on the runway. Totally off the grid. Like nothing, right? No lights, no lights. They absolutely had no idea that the president and the first lady were going to enter the room. And that room absolutely erupted. Erupted as a volcano calm, right? Like the volcanoes that will look like they're all going off. A young man tore a patch off his shoulder, and he put it in Sarah's hand. And he said, "You have a tough job," meaning she was the press secretary. And she said, "No, we're in this together. You take the bombs and the bullets," she said. Another war calm. And President Trump, when he came out on the stage, he made an air cue. That was cool. And like I said, this is the Hialeah, Florida rally. If you want to look back on RSBN, you could see it on Rumble. And I was looking behind him, especially after he started talking for a while, because all the double talking he did, it led you to think that there might have been wrestlers, boxers, baseball players, all those kind of personas behind him. But I also noticed that, so as you're looking at President Trump, to the right, almost immediately to the right, was somebody with very pale, a very light face, like pale, like makeup maybe, I'm not sure. And long, long, long dark hair, and a little nose, and it looked just like Michael Jackson. And if it wasn't Michael Jackson, it was supposed to make you think Michael Jackson was there. So one way or the other, that person was there to represent Michael Jackson, although I'm hoping it was him. Because he's been at another rally on a Clouseau video. I remember it's Clouseau with one S, not two. And you can see, what is it? Michael Jackson and Prince come out, but they're in these rubbery suits that are like, I call them fat lady suits, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody, but that's what they look like. And they were sitting together, and they were bebopping to the music at the end of the rally, and then they walked out together. It's so funny. Let's see. And there was, I was trying to write a lot of notes here, like who was wearing what, which doesn't help you right now. And then he goes, nobody, but you can think of it as nobody, did more. Like, it's not really President Trump up there, likely. He said, very spoiled children 2 times. Let's see. Catholics, he said 5 times. I'm hoping that was for me, because my full name is Catherine, so I was hoping that's why he said it 5 times. I don't know. So thank you, President Trump, no matter what. I don't care. I've got a lot to be thankful for. And I'm getting a car this week, too, so that's really exciting. Thank you, President Trump. And everybody. Thank you. I'm really excited. Let's see. He said, it ends. It ends 2 times on November 5th, 2024. Now, that's something that Tom talks about a lot, that he keeps getting comms about. I think what he means is the reset happening on Election Day, or maybe even the day after, I don't know. Remember the 5th of November. That's a big deal over in the UK, because that was the foiled bombing plot of Parliament, which you wonder if that was even real. Like maybe they just set people up. I don't know, but it made the present day king, I think it was a king, or maybe, I don't remember if it was a king or a queen at the time, but when they foiled the plot. They, caught this group that was plotting to set off explosives under Parliament because they wanted to blow up the whole place. And that's why people say, remember the 5th of November, because that's the day that they caught them. Okay. And he said power-hungry regimes, and I'm thinking like a blackout thing, power and hungry. It'll look like you can't do anything, most likely, and everybody will be freaking out. But that's why I think everybody's supposed to help each other. You're supposed to help each other anyway. But when there's a crisis, you're supposed to really, really help each other. Let's see, he said blacklisting, black is Diana, equals Diana. We are saving, he said 2 times, and that's like they're saving people, literally, like it's from hell, right? Saving people. Let's see, he talked about power again. He said 2024 is our final battle. It'll look like it's a war comm again. And then he said, Tom and I were going back and forth, texting when this happened. And he said, remember, we got our 1.42 million, votes. And I was like, he just said, remember. And he just said November 5th, 2024. Then he just, right after that, he says, remember. So that wasn't a coincidence. Remember, the 5th of November. Something's happening then. Yeah. And it's next year, obviously. It's next year. Let's see. I don't need to tell you all this stuff. No chance it would have happened. He said those 2 events caused by stupid people, meaning he was saying, I would have never had that thing happen that the Biden did, right? Caused by stupid people. What he's saying is it's a fake war. No chance it would have happened because it didn't happen. He mentioned terrorist attacks every 1 to 2 weeks before he was president, And then he said, then nothing happened for 4 years. He really means that everything in the Biden 4 years is fake, right? All these weird things that you read about in the paper and on the news headlines, they're fake. Every time I look something up, it's fake. I don't know. I think that everything, it's going to turn out that everything they've bothered to print is fake or talk about on the news, I swear. Anyway, let's see. What else should I tell you? He said, I don't know where I decoded that. Oh, darn it all. I thought I had it on that paper because he did a Trumpology. He said, Miami, not Miami. Miami. Well, I think I wrote it down and on the phone. I didn't write it in my notes because I probably texted it to Tom, without writing it on here. So I know I did it. Miami. Yep. And then he said Ana Maria Rodriguez. So Rodriguez could go for, a pat on the back to, what's his name? The boxer. I can't even think. I was just talking about him. I can't think. Anyway, you know who I mean. That has a channel. He was a heavyweight boxer. And then the Ana Maria. So I looked up Ana Maria Rodriguez. She's, I think, a state senator from Florida. So I looked up, how does she spell her name? Is it A-N-A? Is it A-N-N-A? But it's A-N-A. So that was a comm for Anna, who is someone else that has a channel. She's from Brazil, Anna Marins. And so it was, because Maria is an M, right? So Anna Marins, because Anna Marins spells her name A-N-A. Because usually he doesn't talk about, state senators and people like that. He talks about other people that are like higher in the state government or the federal government. Let's see, there was a guy in a gray t-shirt. I kept writing that down. It's so funny. Yeah, he said Hialeah for Trump on it, and he looked like a boxer. He looked kind of like the weight of a boxer. And okay, so this is why it was important. He kept turning and pointing. You know how underlines people when there are famous people behind him, and he wants to emphasize it. He'll look over here, and the camera from the camera, it'll look like he's looking right at that person, even though that person is way behind him. Those people that are behind him are actually quite far behind him, because I was at a rally where I was not straight behind him, but I was behind him on the side, and it's a long ways. It's really a long ways, but they have it figured out so that if somebody's in a certain seat and he turns his head, he knows, or she knows if it's Diana, but to look up or to look down, and then it'll look like he's looking at that person right behind him, well, ways behind him, and or he'll point like point, and then it will look like he's pointing at the person that he's talking about. So anyway, that gray t-shirt guy, he did that too. And then he said, Carlos Jimenez, do you know him? He said 2 times, do you know him? Is his name Carlos? And he's doing all this pointing and like I call it underlining to this guy in the gray t-shirt. It drove me crazy that I couldn't figure out who that was. And at the same time, the guy in the gray t-shirt is waving wildly like a nut, and that, because they all get cues from people down in the front. Okay, this is when you do this. Or they'll get a text on their phone if they're supposed to make themselves, a little more obvious back there. And then he goes, Carlos. He mentions Roseanne Barr. She's a wonderful person. He said, if I went like this, poof, like gone, he'd fall down. And, that to me, that was like a wrestler, boxer kind of calm, because, well, maybe a boxer more like, if I went like this, poof, just blowing, Biden would fall down. That's what he was saying. But that to me was pointing out that guy in the gray t-shirt. And then he puts up his fists, like boxing. President Trump. He thanks Kimberly Guilfoyle, like right after. He says, he thanks rapper, listen to this. He thanks rapper Lil Pump, Lilpump, Lil Pump. Okay? Shoe comes again. It was shoe comes. I can't get over this sometimes. So he thanks Kimberly, and then immediately he thanks a rapper, Lil Pump. And so I guess likely that meant it was Jackie, because it's Lil in there. Maybe that's what the Lil. I mean, I'm sure there's a rapper named Lil Pump. I'm not saying there isn't, but I'm just saying that because the little is in there. Maybe he was saying that it was Jackie in the high heels playing Kimberly. Gosh, way too fun. And then he said, he talked about a great pitcher, Nestor. I think it was Nestor. So there was a pitcher back there too. And then he started talking about that story he likes to tell about the terrorist leader in Iraq. And he'd say, Abdul, don't do it, Abdul. I know where your house is, Abdul, And he says, how hard we're going to hit you. Another boxer calm. Then he said, arms and legs obliterated. Another phrase he says a lot. Like, that's like the bad stuff. I think. The bad stuff that we're probably going to see. Um, he said, "Hi, Axel. Hi, Axel." And then he kept looking left, as we're looking at the TV to our left. And it was giving us these great profile pictures of all those people back there. So you guys ought to look at it and see if you could figure out who some of these people are. It's going to end up being another Clouseau video. I know it, where they get all ID'd behind him. So, and Michael Jackson's little nose, you know how he had the small nose. I don't know if Michael Jackson's character was stayed behind him, because sometimes those people come and go, which, that wouldn't happen in a Trump rally. People just, being there 1 minute, then all of a sudden they're over here, in a whole different seat, and then they come back. They do that, but I'm not sure if he did that. So I don't know. And Jackie, and remember I told you Jackie played Michael Jackson, starting with the album called Bad. I think it was just called Bad, wasn't it? I was reading reviews about Michael Jackson albums and things, and they were saying, "Oh yeah, he changed after that album, and his performances, blah blah blah." I think it was Jackie playing Michael Jackson. I really do. So that yeah, and I did coding on it too. Doing the concerts, like he wasn't doing as much fancy footwork and all that kind of stuff. If you look at, I think it was that big, it was a big concert in Germany. I'm pretty sure it was Germany, that super popular on YouTube. It's one of the, of course it was live, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't him. And everybody thought, somebody replaced him. Somebody else was acting for him, but I think it could have been Jackie. Anyway, I'm going too far. I'm going too long. I'm going to lose my voice permanently here. Let's see. What can I tell you that's exciting? Yeah, he turned around and he looked. This is awesome. Now that they looked at me, this is President Trump, we will look at him, meaning the Biden, right? Of course, but there's a double talking. He goes, now that they looked at me, we will look at him, because he did some bad things. Okay, Bad, the album Bad, right? And Jackie and Diana did bad things, and that's why likely Jackie was playing Michael Jackson and all that stuff. He did some bad things. So anyway, turned around and he turned and looked at who I think was Michael Jackson, at least, like I said, somebody portraying him. And he said, right? Like looking at that person. He's going, right? Did some bad things. Oh my gosh. And that's when the Michael Jackson character smiled, like, did some bad things, right? And he smiles. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, and so maybe Elvis was back there too, because they played the Elvis video. Elvis could have been in a big disguise too. He's in another Clouseau video, maybe even two. Let's see. Where was I going to? Oh, and he said irregularities, not irregularities. He said irregularities. And that in Jewish, it's 691, and that's, is this true? Or this is true. You can read it both ways. And then in simple, it's 167, it's Elvis Presley. So maybe Elvis was back there. Plus, like I told you already, showed the video of Elvis during the rally. Or maybe it was after Don Jr. was up, so maybe it won't be in the main part of the rally. And it also equals She is the Messiah, and Magnificent Twins also equals Christmas Nightmare. I really think Christmas Eve is, I don't know if it's this Christmas, next Christmas, I have no idea. But Christmas Eve is going to be some big, awful thing. And I think that's why The Nightmare Before Christmas was done, you know, that animated movie, The Nightmare Before Christmas. And when you just read or listen to Clement C. Moore's poem, The Night Before Christmas, you know, you're asleep, and then there's all the noise, and you get looked to see what was the matter, and I mean, that all ties in. And then you've got, like I told you before, A Christmas Carol. So we have Carol in there, you know, and there's never been a real Carol and Bissett, but still, you know, that was always Diana, in my opinion. And in A Christmas Carol, there's the ghost, there's the alarms, you know, the chimes, I should say, going off. But to me, they represent, you know, the alerts, and some of them will be fake. And then eventually you lead up to the real fake one, where it's like, you know, oh, that was a false alarm, but now it's the real one. You know. Anyway, I need to take a break or something. I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun to hear the Don Jr., Kimberly Guilfoyle stuff. The shoe coms, I mean, it was just great. I have a lot more than that I didn't tell you, but, and I think you should look at that video, at least skim through it and see what you think about those people in the back. It's really awesome. I had such a good time. So I hope everybody's doing well, and you're getting through all this time. I know it's a difficult time for a lot of people, but we're gonna get through it together, right? And if you want, leave a comment if you want, and I'll talk to you. You know, I answer everybody, that at least in the first couple of days of a video going out. So anyway, you're not alone. I'm here. I'm with you, and everybody else is with you too. So anyway, I love you guys. Take care of each other. Bye.